Fit to Love, episode 81, Why Changing Your Behavior is Not Enough.
Fit to Love is physical, emotional, and spiritual fitness to achieve the happy life you deserve. From exercise to cooking, relationships, and spirituality, you'll find all the inspiration you need right here with our host, JJ Flizanes.
Welcome to Fit to Love, Thoughtful Thursdays. Today's show, Why Changing Your Behavior is Not Enough. Happy New Year. Happy 2015 and welcome to the show. I am very excited to bring to you my first solo show of 2015, and this topic has been brewing for about 3 to 4 weeks. This season of ending of the first year into the next year is a very repetitive cycle of behavior that many people go through, which is to take the holidays and their favorite foods and the family and the stress around the holiday and just a desire to numb out and to deal with things or not deal with things by eating too much or drinking too much or however you decide to numb and sort of deal with the stress of the holiday. And then, of course, there's weight gain and there's shame and there's guilt that people carry around. And then there's the rededication to the new year and how am I going to do this year different? And trust me, I am the person who for years have made lists to not only outline what I'm going to do differently for the new year, but more importantly, to acknowledge what I did well, what happened, how I grew the year before. And while I'm not a fan of repetitively looking back into what has happened to define you, I am about acknowledging and appreciating why things happen and how it led you to today, and releasing shame and guilt and acknowledging that everything has a purpose. And when it comes to the new year, there have been years that I've made really lofty goals and not so much resolutions, but more of the setting the bar really, really high for myself. And it has happened so many times for myself and for clients and for friends and family. And I've watched this over and over again that I'm kind of on the opposite side these days of the whole idea of resolutions and even doing them. And even the slate is clean, the page is new, you're at the beginning, and now I'm going to change my behavior in this way once and for all. Maybe it's because I'm getting older. Maybe it's because I've seen it so many times. Maybe it's because I've grown and shifted. And maybe it's because I'm doing the work and I'm seeing people who are doing behavioral changes, but they're not really getting where they want to be. And I'm sad by that. I'm sad for them. I'm not carrying sadness for them. I acknowledge that everyone has their journey and no two journeys are alike. And sometimes somebody needs to hear it 100 times or repeat it 15 years before the shift can take place, before they're able to hear that. But what I want to impress upon you and have you think about in this show is that idea of why the behavior is not enough. Just changing the behavior or swapping out the behavior for a better behavior, a better habit, so to speak, is not enough. And I know something, and I've listened to something, and I've edited something that you haven't heard yet. So I'm privy to some information that's coming tomorrow. Or for those of you that download these shows daily, it's coming today because once this show goes up, so is the other one. I just got done editing and getting ready to publish right after the show, Understanding and Healing Addiction. It's episode number 82. It's the third interview with Dr. Lynn Boutrous, who is a clairvoyant and therapist, and she's someone who I work with as well. And over and over again, just the deeper work I do and the more I'm watching friends and family and clients, I guess I just want to get to the point and I want to really help you. I want you to be successful. I want you to feel the freedom and the joy and the ease and the happiness that is possible for you. That's why I'm doing this show. That's why I'm on the planet in this lifetime. And while I'm not going to take ownership of your success and have a terrible life if half the world suffers because they're not ready to hear this, because everyone's going to be in a different place. All I can do is what I'm doing. and vibrate at the highest level and do the best work I can do and be the best I can be, to be an example, a beacon of light, to inspire those that are attracted to the information that I'm putting out and to the people that I'm sharing with you. And if you're on board, great. And if you're not, great. There's someone else out there who has the answer for you. But I really want to support the idea that if you're just changing the behavior, if you're giving yourself goals that are outside of your body, and they're outside of your life, meaning that they're more material oriented or they're more external, let's say with the weight loss. Now, I started out as a trainer and wanting to help people with their bodies, and weight loss is still a very big part of that. But when an external issue is handled with an external solution and it doesn't work long term, then it isn't an external issue. Let me say that again. If you have a physical pain or you have a physical condition, let's say it's weight loss, and you've tried diet after diet, you've done exercise program after exercise program, you've gone on a retreat, you've swapped out your food, you've done diets, and they haven't worked long term, then it's not an external issue. This is not about you not understanding what to do. It's about the deeper motivation of the shift. The root of all of this isn't physical, it's emotional. And it doesn't have to be hard and complicated. It's just the reality of that it's not a physical issue, so a physical solution will not be a long-term remedy. Think about a weed. I mean, it's a very basic concept that everyone would understand. You can't cut the head off a weed every time and think it's going to stop growing. The root is firmly planted in the dirt, and as long as that root is fed by the soil and the water, then it's going to grow, and it isn't gone. So just plucking it at the top where you can see it doesn't mean that that root won't regrow or won't grow into something else. Now, of course, if it's a plant, it's going to keep growing into the same thing. But if it's an emotion of yours and you've changed a behavior to produce a physical result, but the root is still there, it's either going to show up again in the form of that physical manifestation, or it's going to change into a different physical manifestation. So if this is your 5th year, 10th year, 20th year, 40th year, giving yourself a goal of losing 10 pounds, and it hasn't worked for the last 15 years, and how you're addressing it is by going on a detox or a diet or getting a gym membership, the personal trainer on the other end of this podcast show is here to tell you that's not going to work long term. And even if you get the physical results, most likely if you have an emotional trigger that happens between now and whenever, it might send you right back to the behavior that got you to the place you were unhappy with in the first place. Think of your emotions and your wounds as weeds, and really embrace the idea that it's time to weed the garden, not just mow the lawn. Because when you mow the lawn, it looks really pretty, but you haven't actually dug it out of the earth. So your soil content is the same, and it's going to grow back. So I am going to make this show pretty short and sweet. And the reason is because I really want you to download and listen to tomorrow's show, which is Understanding and Healing Addiction, and I want you to share it. I want you to share it with as many people as you can, because when you listen to it, while you may be able to identify yourself in some of the things that we're talking about, I promise you're going to identify everyone in your life with some kind of soft or hard addiction, because honestly, we all have them. Sometimes emotions are scary and we don't want to feel them. It's normal. It doesn't mean it's healthy. We think it's normal because everybody's doing it, but it isn't what's going to get you to the greatest depth of happiness and results in your life. And that's what I think you're doing here listening to the show. That's why this podcast topic was of interest to you. That's why by accident you clicked on this. That's why someone sent this to you when you've never even heard of me or this show before. It's not an accident. You've called this in, and now it's time to take some action. But the action I want you to take isn't about externally doing things that, again, produce some kind of external solution. It's an internal job. It's your inside job. And once you can clear all the muck that separates you from your deepest heart, from your intuition, from hearing clearly the guidance that's already coming to you, then life's easier, life's happier, and you don't have that sabotaging behavior and that cycle of circular motion that keeps you stuck in the same place. So a few more thoughts, but before I finish up, to give you a couple tips on how to make this year really different. Not, I'm going to lose 10 pounds and then by, May or March, I'm going to gain it back again. Let's make this year really different. First, we need to take a break and thank our sponsors. Get the hottest tips and latest trends for your business success with Today's Innovative Woman magazine, a free print and online digital magazine. Plus, receive the special bonus video series, Platforms for Profit, the must-have marketing essentials for outrageous success, taught by media and marketing strategist Kathy Alessandra. Who is today's innovative woman? She's a smart and savvy business owner. She is driven and committed to success. She invests in herself and her business on everything from products to grow her knowledge, services to grow her business, and events to learn and connect with potential clients and customers. You can claim your free subscription today and get it mailed to your home or office at today'sinnovativewoman.com. Having a hard time losing weight even when you eat well and exercise? You may have weight loss resistance. The Metabolic Makeover audio program will uncover the 7 factors of weight loss resistance and guide you towards identifying what to do about it. Discover what common foods and toxins hinder fat from being released from the body and how you can naturally increase your metabolism. Let Dr. Alan Peters, Jeannie Peters, and I walk you through the steps of weight loss resistance so you can overcome it once and for all. Visit the products page on fittolove.tv to download it now. How can I make 2015 my best year yet? How can I really start to chip away at what I really, really want? Well, obviously, it's to go inward. It's to go inward and it's to slow down. And number one, first and foremost, listen to tomorrow's show, Understanding and Healing Addiction. And when you listen to it in a quiet space, sit by yourself, and whether it's through earphones in the car or on speakers on an iPad or on your laptop, listen to it in a quiet space and have a piece of paper and a pencil out or pen. And when you're listening to the show, I want you to do the work. Listen, maybe close your eyes, go inward, and allow any images to come up that are inspired by what you're hearing. And then write them down. And you don't have to make sense of them, but when the show is over, if you want to listen to it again, the more you listen to it, probably the more that's going to come up for you. But you can start to see how you need to direct yourself and what steps need to be taken on an internal level that are really going to make the biggest shifts for you. If you're just out repeating the same patterns over and over again, joining the gym, working out more, eating different foods, managing your money differently, those are all great. There's nothing, of course, I want everybody to do that if that's what you're called to do. But if you're doing it from a place of forcing yourself into it versus it naturally being inspired from the true depth of who you are with clarity and ease, then it's just clipping the weed off at the top. It's going to grow back. So please listen to the show. That's the first and foremost. Second, start to look at the people around you who feed your energy and how they feed your energy. Are you really putting yourself in situations that nurture this work, or are you putting yourself in situations that keep you surface and numbing? because a lot of people can't deal with this kind of work. And I know I'm taking a big leap of faith, like putting myself out there in this way and addressing these kinds of issues. They're not sexy. They're not what people want to do because it's scary. And I know that this show only appeals to a certain population who are really, truly interested and ready. They're Oprah's population. They're life class people. They're Deepak Chopra people, they're Wayne Dyer people, they're people who are actually asking these very leading edge questions. They're law of attraction people, they're Abraham Hicks people. These are the people that I know are most attracted to the things that I'm talking about. But if you're even slightly ready, I invite you to take that leap. Take that leap this year of not knowing and of trusting the process and of trusting yourself to go in and find those answers that are on the inside of you. Your deeper wisdom will tell you. You just have to slow down and center yourself long enough without the distraction, with the pure, simple silence of just listening to what your inner knowing wants to tell you. And when you can get there, then you're going to start to make the behavioral changes and that will actually make the deeper impact. And it won't be this repetitive over and over again thing that you do that never really gets you where you want to be. And maybe we're chipping the ice away, and every year it's a little bit more and a little bit more. But is this the year for you? Is this when you're going to be ready? The other thing that you could do, it's kind of a scare tactic, and I'll finish with this one, is to pick up a book by Bronnie Ware. It's a Hay House Balboa Press book. Actually, it's Hay House. And it's the top 5 regrets of the dying. Now, I did a whole show on this. So if you don't want to buy the book, or you have the book, or you haven't heard my podcast, go back and find the top 5 regrets of the dying. And you go through those top 5 regrets and you ask yourself, are you going to have any regrets? If you die tomorrow, are you going to have any of those regrets? And if the answer is yes, well, then that might be the inspiration you need to make the necessary decisions about what kind of internal work is needed. What kind of weed pulling will be most effective for you right now? So, I'm wishing you a happy and healthy 2015. I am dedicated to inspiring and bringing you information that will change your life, literally change your life. And I really hope that if some of this information has already helped you, that you would come to fittolove.tv and let me know about it, because this is why I'm doing it. I am doing it so that we can all be happy, whole people, because the happier and higher vibration people we are, the more effect we have on the entire planet. So I'm wishing you a wonderful, successful, happy, prosperous, healthy, magnificent, heart wide open 2015. Is your website working for you? If it's not, Every Angle Media can help transform your existing business presence and build you a website that works when you're not working. Visit us online at everyanglemedia.com. Do you commit to an exercise program every year and then give up within the first 60 days? Are you ready to be accountable to yourself and uncover the personalized changes that will work for you long term? Consider the 30-day Jumpstart program. Visit the products page on fittolove.tv to get started today. The Fit to Love podcast show offers you 6 days a week of helpful content to achieve the happy life you deserve. Movement Mondays and Tasty Tuesdays are weekly video casts, while Wellness Wednesdays, Thoughtful Thursdays, Freedom Fridays, and Sexy Saturdays are audio-only shows themed every week to address your holistic life and needs. If this show inspired you, we would love for you to share it and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. Head on over to fittolove.tv for recaps of every show, resources, and to join the community. That's FIT, the number 2, LOVE.tv. Have a fit and fabulous day.